how to read currency quotes. Essentially, I wanted to understand the concept of a currency. Number two, I want us to learn how to read a currency quote. When trading at forex, this ability to discern what a quote means is very important. Okay, so say for example we have a quote that says 14.4, just like that. We want to know what that means. Oftentimes, a quote is given in terms of two currency pairs. On forex, you never ever find a quote that is given independently on its own. Currencies come in pairs. Let us look at a forex chart here. So if you've gone through our beginner lessons, you should know by now that currencies come in pairs. Number two, there are essentially there are three groups of currencies. You've got major currencies, which are your big states, your USD, your Japanese yen, Japan, your Canadian dollar in Canada, your Australian dollar in Australia. You've got your British pound, the United Kingdom, and the euro. So you've got major currencies, and then the second group of currencies are the minor currencies. And finally, you've got exotic currencies. Making this distinction will be important in the future when we look at the meaning of what the spread means. That is the difference between your bid and your ask price. But for now, let's deal with the currency pair. I have before me a chart of the USD ZAR. So this is an exotic currency. You've got the US dollar against the South African rand. So let's interpret this one currency pair, and from there we'll go on and fundamentally explain what this means. And quickly, I want us to look at a live chart. So we have a chart here that expresses the prices, the change in price of the currency pair USD ZAR. ZAR is your South African rand for those of us who do not know. So it's the US dollar against the South African rand. So we've got these prices here from March 2016 to 12 September 2016. In fact, to today's date, that is, if we check on my computer screen, the 14th of October 2016. But right there at the end of the chart, you've got 14.4. What is that? That amount there, or that price given there, is your current exchange rate. So the platform has given me the current exchange rate of the USD ZAR currency pair. That exchange rate is the exchange rate that is given on the news. But what does it mean for us forex traders? What does that exchange rate mean? Number two, we'll also look at the price that is given by the broker. So you've got an exchange rate, and that we get from the market, but you also have a second price that is given by the broker. If I press Alt T, there's a pop-up that appears that says sell or buy. On forex now, because forex operates through a broker, the broker has a price that is offering you to sell this currency pair at that price. It's not a big difference from the market price that's been given. The broker has also given me a price whereby I can sell or I can buy that currency pair at 14 rands 0.4461. So there's a price that's given by the market, and there's a price that's given by your broker. Every broker will have its own price, but for now let's not focus on the price that's given on the broker. Let's look at the currency pair and try to examine what it means. But these two elements will be important for the purpose of understanding what a currency pair means and how to read it. Okay, so in reading codes we are always given two currencies measured against one another, and let's just try to examine what this means. The first currency, which is your USD here in the example given above, is your base currency. So your base currency in this instance is your USD. So the USD is your base currency. The ZAR on the other end is your quote currency. Is your ZAR. Let's highlight that. Let's highlight that. So the USD is the first one before the slash is always your base currency. That is the basis of your currency pair. I'll explain in a brief moment what that means. The second one is your quote currency. Now oftentimes when we use the word quote, it means you are requesting a price for a thing, either a selling price or a buying price for a thing. So if I say to you, I want to purchase your computer, I request a quote, you will say that my computer is let's say 5,000 Rand. That's a quote. Likewise, what this means is that your base currency, as I've already mentioned, is your basis. So I have before me the USD / ZAR, and the rate of exchange that's been given by the markets and the news is 14 rands 40 cents. So what does this mean? How do we interpret this currency pair for forex purposes? The first one is the US dollar. That is your base currency, so that comes before the slash. Sometimes it may not have a slash, it may be presented in this form, but what it means essentially is that you've got your base currency, and that is your US dollar, and secondly you've got your quote currency, which is your ZAR. What the quote means is that you are giving me a quote for the base currency. The base currency is always the basis of your currency pair. We buy and sell the base currency. We don't buy and sell the quote currency per se. But essentially what I'm saying is that the USD is your base currency because it comes before the slash. So if this were, let's say, your euro CAD, in this instance the first one that comes before the slash is your base currency, and the second one is your quote currency. Now let's examine what this means. Currency pairs simply mean the following. If I buy $1 US, I will have to pay 14 rands 40 cents. So it's always the basis that you are buying in terms of your quote currency. So the exchange is always in terms of the quote currency. If this was the Canadian dollar, you would say that 1 USD, to purchase 1 USD will cost me 14.4 Canadian dollars. So it's always one of your base currency at the price of the quote currency. If I'm selling 1 US dollar, I will receive 14 rands 40 cents. So whether you're buying or you're selling, essentially reading quote currency says, what do I get for either selling or buying one base currency in terms of the quote currency? So in this scenario, to buy 1 US dollar, I would have to pay 14.4 ZAR. Similarly, to sell 1 USD, I would have to sell it for the price of 14.4 ZAR. So Forex is very simple. It works this way. I sell one currency and I receive money for it. I buy one currency and I give it up in exchange for the other currency. So when I'm selling 1 US dollar, I am selling it, I'm giving it away, similar to any transaction whereby you go to a store, you pick up an item and you buy that item. You give away the money that you have in hand and you take the item. Similarly, what you're doing is, when you're saying that I'm buying the USD ZAR pair, you are buying the base currency, but you are using the quote currency to pay. So I'm taking USD at the store, but I'm paying the quote price, which is your ZAR, your 14.4 ZAR. If I'm selling the USD ZAR pair, I am selling 1 US dollar for the price, for the quote price in terms of the ZAR, which is going to be 14 rands 40 cents. So that is just a brief lesson for today, how to read currency codes. In the next lesson, I will go on to explain that this exchange rate that's been given here is usually not what you will purchase or sell your currency pairs on Forex. This is the price the market gives you. There's a secondary price that your broker will give to you. The broker will give you a selling and a buying price. Your selling and your buying price that will be given by your broker will not be too different from the price that's been given by the market. It's usually just a small margin. It's quite insignificant, but the importance of learning how to read currency pairs in terms of the exchange rate is essential for purposes of market analysis, and this will be very crucial, especially when we look at fundamentals, how to predict the movement of the markets in terms of fundamentals, as well as to know when to sell or buy in terms of the exchange rate. Now let's go back to the charts. I have here my USD ZAR chart open, and these are the historical price movements that have taken place in the past. Right here, this is our exchange rate for the USD pair. But as I've already said, that there is the price that the broker now is giving you to buy or sell your currency. So you won't go on Forex and sell or buy your currency at that exchange rate, but you will buy and sell your currency in terms of what the broker has given you. The broker will give you a price. And that is all for today, and this is Jim. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next videos that I will be uploading. And I'm hoping that you will follow these videos and they will begin to bring more sense to the research and the knowledge that you've already acquired through other means of learning.